Hey there, welcome to this Friday live edition of the Certified Badass Online Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Klink today, and I'm your host, Bobby Klink, every day, not just today. And I'm excited for today's episode because I'm going to be making some waves. I'm going to be causing some trouble, which I always have fun doing. Now, I'm not doing it for the sake of causing trouble, but I think it's going to give us a little bit of fun. I'm excited about today's episode because I'm kind of going to help you decide, should you jump over to Clubhouse that everybody's talking about? And spoiler alert, I'm going to say that chances are you shouldn't. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't join Clubhouse, but chances are that you should use it very sparingly if you're using it. And we're going to talk about that. But really, I want to kind of clarify something. This is not an episode about Clubhouse. This is not an episode about me talking about Clubhouse being bad. I don't think Clubhouse is a bad app. Now, I have some personal reasons why I don't want to make it a focus of things, but that's not what this is about. We're not really chatting about Clubhouse today, so that you know it. What we're chatting about today is a deeper question of how do you decide whether to jump on a bandwagon, whether to adopt a new technology, whether to go on a new social media site. That's what we're talking about. And really what I'm going to try to stress to you today is to avoid the notion of, well, everybody else is doing it, so I've got to do it. We're going to use some kind of common sense that our parents probably taught us, or at least my parents taught me, and said, if everybody else were jumping off a bridge, would you? And that may seem extreme, and we always thought it was silly when we were kids. I haven't used it on my daughter yet. I probably will. But what we're going to be talking about is how do you kind of make that judgment about whether you should be making the leap to some other technology, to some other app, to some other, platform, to some other social media, to all of that. That's what we're really talking about today. So that's what we'll be talking about. Now, before we do, I want to say, if you want to learn about how to build an online business, I have a free resource called Badass Online Marketing University. It is 100% free. Free now, free in the future, free forever. There's no kind of gimmicks. There's no upsells. There's nothing. We're just giving this away. It's training right now. There's a base course, which is called Online Marketing Foundations, which will help you set the foundations for marketing right. But then more deeply, we're going to add more courses. There's going to be a course on messaging. There's going to be a course on copy. There's going to be a course on list building. There's going to be a course on legal. There's going to be a course not by me, but by one of my really wonderful friends about financial stuff. So we're going to have a lot of great value in there, absolutely free. You can sign up by heading to bobbyklink.com/bombu. That's BOMU. bobbyklink.com/bombu. So now let's get to the nitty gritty. And again, so people have said, when I sent my email inviting people to this live podcast today, there was kind of an interesting feedback. One person said I should not be saying don't be on Clubhouse. And they said that I have influence, and so I shouldn't be, making statements like that. Well, what I'm going to tell you is my email was meant to get some attention to people's attention, but I also clarified in the email, I don't have a problem with Clubhouse per se. I just want to help you decide whether you should be joining it. And what I'll tell you is, then some people, commented on a Facebook post in advance of this episode where they said, but wait, aren't you on Clubhouse? And yes, I have a Clubhouse account. I jumped into a couple of rooms where my friends were chatting and I got pulled up on stage and chatted with them. Yes, I have done it, but I'm not over there a lot. It's a personal decision I've made, but I want to talk about how, from kind of a fundamental perspective, you should be thinking about joining a Clubhouse, a TikTok, whatever it is. And the first thing you have to understand is that you need to focus in your business. Everything you do, everything you say yes to means you can't do something else. So every minute you spend on Clubhouse is a minute you're not doing something else in your business. Now, it could be that you're not on Instagram. It could be that you're not on Facebook. It could be that you're not listening to a podcast. It could be that you're not implementing something in your business, but you are not doing something else while you are on Clubhouse. And so we have to recognize that piece. And so when we decide, Should we go to Clubhouse? Should we create a TikTok account? Should we do this? Should we do that? When we're doing all of those things, we have to be asking, should I be doing this instead of whatever else I would be doing if I weren't spending my time here? And so that kind of has to be what you understand every decision you make in business. It's this common thing that people say, but I'm leaving money on the table on certain places. And I say, yes. And I learned this from my coach. Yes, you are leaving money on the table. We all leave money on the table. The question is, which money do we leave on the table and which money are we taking off the table? So every decision we make in business is a trade-off. And so that's kind of the first thing we have to understand. And to decide whether you should make this trade-off with Clubhouse, you have to ask yourself this question first. What is your focus, or what should be the focus in your business right now where you are currently? And there's a lot of different things in that I want to unpack. First of all, you have to understand, what is your focus of your business? What are you looking to do? What is the thing that you want to build for your business? And there's a concept from Good to Great by Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, that says we should have a hedgehog concept. We should have that one thing that we say we could be the best in the world at, and we're going to put all of our effort into being the best in the world at that one thing. That's a pretty powerful idea. If you think about that and say, wow, what is the one thing that I want to be known for in my business? What is the one thing that I want to focus on? Because I know if I achieve that one thing, people will come, they will follow me, they will buy from me, and I will have a successful business. Until you've defined that, you got a bigger problem, but you've got to define that. That's where you have to start. Then once you make that decision, you can ask yourself the next question, which is, what phase of your business are you in? Are you in a phase of your business where you should be learning or where you should be implementing? Are you in a phase of your business where you should be expanding to a new platform, whether it's content or social media or anything else or not? And hint, until the stuff that you're already working on, or the platforms you're already on for content, for social media, are up and running and you're getting results for, chances are you should not expand. Now, it might be that you're on the wrong social media platform. That is a possibility. But I'm going to tell you that if you are not succeeding where you are, chances are that going to a new platform is not going to fix that problem. If you're not succeeding on your current platform, it's probably because you haven't defined that hedgehog concept, that one thing that you will be the best in the world at, so you don't have focus, so you're not attracting the right people with the right message. And there is no change in platform that's going to solve that problem. But also I wanted to talk about the concept of, are you in a place where you should be learning or you should be implementing? Because this is a big thing. Like with Clubhouse especially, this has come up. I've heard a lot of people say, oh man, I'm going into these rooms and I'm hearing these amazing ideas, and they talk about it. Now, some of them I can't even follow, which says to me maybe it's not a great idea. But some of them, yeah, I'm like, oh, that might be a cool marketing strategy. But this is like a marketing, like, 455, like for college numbers, like not a marketing 101. And the people who are talking about, they're learning these things, they haven't even started to really consistently make revenue yet. And what I'm going to tell you is, if you have not gotten to the point that your business is already kind of churning along, learning more is not what you need to be doing. You need to be implementing and applying the knowledge you already have. Because building a successful business is not about advanced techniques. It's not about some, secret that only the insiders know. No, it's about doing the basics right. I've been talking about that for over 1.5 years now. And so I want you to get that concept, that if you're at a point where you're kind of struggling, you should not be learning. You should be implementing. And then the next thing, like once you've kind of done this, say, what is my one thing? What phase of my business should I be in? And if you are in a phase of business where, for example, it makes sense for you to expand to a new social media platform, to a new content platform, etc., you have to ask the next question. And the next question is this: does this particular platform serve my interest? Does it serve my one thing? And if it does serve it, is it the best way to serve that one thing? And here's where I'm going to give you a very clear understanding of why I'm choosing personally not to make Clubhouse an important part of what we're doing right now. Now, I might play around, but I want to be very clear. This is not a universal statement. It's a statement about me, about our one thing, about our company values, and about my assessment of it. So we have defined our one thing, kind of our hedgehog concept, as something along the lines that we will provide the industry's best experience to visitors and customers alike. And in other words, it's providing a wonderful experience. Kind of think of like combine Zappos and customer service and Disney and customer experience and put those together. And we want to be that company in the online marketing space. Part of that means not excluding people. And so for me, I am not right now going to go onto a platform that excludes anyone who doesn't have an iPhone and also says, if you want to get in, you got to know somebody because you got to get an invite. I'm choosing, for me, that would be inconsistent with my hedgehog concept of providing an amazing experience for all visitors, all users, all customers. I don't want to be exclusive. So again, for me, it's not the right fit. And the funny thing is, I'm at a point in my business where being on Clubhouse could actually move my business forward generally, right? Because I could be one of the pioneers. I could get on there. I have a lot of time. I have a team doing the stuff. I have the time to expand into new platforms. I have friends who I could have conversations with. I could build my audience. I could do all of that stuff. But at the same time, that's not the best way for me to serve my purpose. And so I'm not going to do it. Now, again, I want to be clear. I may go on there and have some fun. I may go on there to learn because I like to learn and I have time to learn. And I'm at a point where learning stuff and hearing these ideas is an important part of what maybe I ought to be doing. But I'm not going on there to build my business. And that's a decision that I've made. For now. Now it may change. When they open it up, when it's not exclusive, when it's inclusive, I may be there. Now, the last piece I want to talk about is thinking this through with Clubhouse. I'm going to use them, but it's again not about Clubhouse. It's a broader concept that I want you to understand, that there's this concept that pioneers, and I forget, there's a saying about it, and I've forgotten what it is, but it's like, it's basically pioneers get slaughtered. Now, what it means is people who are the pioneers on a new platform, on a new technology, on all of those things. Now, they might succeed, but they might not. And instead of talking about Clubhouse here, I'm going to talk about the last craze, TikTok. Now, for a while last year in 2020, the only thing we heard about was, you got to be on TikTok. You got to be on TikTok. You're going to make millions on TikTok. People were putting out courses about how to make money with it, etc. And all these people were pouring all of their time. They were investing in it. And now, I don't know that TikTok is gone. I have no idea, but I don't hear about it anymore. And I think it was largely replaced when Instagram said, okay, well, we'll just release Reels and it does the same thing on your existing platform. The concept is that there have been so many new platforms that have been the shiny new object, which came about, which we don't know anything about. And we don't know anything about it because it's gone. It went out of business. We've forgotten. And so if you are going to be going onto one of these new platforms as a pioneer, the only people who should be investing a lot of their time and energy in doing that are people who have the time, the energy, the money, and they don't have to worry about whether it completely flops. And what I mean by that is I've got a team. So my business is going to keep running. Like, even if I decide, I'm going to go on to Clubhouse and I'm going to invest all this time. I'm going to be there 3, 4, 5 hours a day, building up and becoming one of the pioneers over there. And if I did that, my team could continue to build my business and continue to make things happen in the background. So I could do that knowing that even if Clubhouse didn't work out and say 3 months from now, people had forgotten about it and weren't really spending a lot of time there, it was an experiment that didn't really hurt my business too much. In other words, are you at a point in your business where you can make high risk bets? Now, again, I'm kind of weird because I come from a technology background of patent law. So I read a lot of stuff about tech startups and venture capital. And venture capitalists invest in businesses, and they will only invest if they say, hey, I think there's a pretty good chance I can get a 10-time return on my investment. And they do that because they've got money to play with, and they're investing in a bunch of different ones, knowing a third of them are going to fail completely. A third of them they might break even on, and a third of them they're going to make money on. You can only do that when you've got capital. And in our case as business owners, that means you've got time, you've got a business that's working, and so you can do this and invest knowing that even if it fails, it doesn't hurt you. So my answer of should you go and join Clubhouse? Now, if you want to go on there every once in a while to learn, fine. But when I put a comment in my Facebook group about this, or kind of shared that I was going to be doing this live, multiple people made jokes about being addicted, or it was going to be an addiction. That's my concern about it. I've heard all these people spending hours upon hours upon hours in Clubhouse. And I'm simply going to ask you to ask this question. Would your time be better spent on something else? And if so, spend it that other place. So, again, I use Clubhouse here, not because I have any problem with Clubhouse. I mean, again, I mentioned I'm not going to use it personally, but I used it as an example to help you see how you should be thinking about all the different opportunities. And over the course of your entrepreneurial journey, you're going to have to make these kinds of decisions a lot of times. When I was first starting back in 2017, like really getting serious about it, the big thing was people were like ditching email lists to go to Facebook Messenger. Those are the things that I'm saying. You're going to have to weigh these kinds of decisions. And I hope that this episode provided you with a metric, a way to look through the information and make the decision that's right for you. So that's it for this episode. I'll see you again next Tuesday for my standard episode, and I'll probably be live again next Friday because I got a lot to say. I'll talk to you later, and have a great weekend.